Hey everybody, and welcome to my home. Alright guys, usually we come to you from our studios in Double Dragon Plaza. Honeycomb Manila is currently closed though because of the MECQ and the lockdown in Metro Manila. So we're staying home to be safe, but we decided to keep doing the show. Now please do remember to follow us. You can follow me at KOKosh on Instagram, you can follow at Adjima on Instagram, and you can follow at Honeycomb Manila to learn more. Now if you are enjoying the show or if it's your first time here, please click subscribe. It means a lot to us. And comment your favorite streetwear brand. It's something we want to hear about because today we are talking about streetwear and basketball. And without further ado, I give you the KD12 Don C. Alright, this is a special collaboration between Kevin Durant and Chicago native Don C. Streetwear, kinda OG. He's part of that whole group of friends with Kanye and Jerry Lorenzo, Joe Fresh Goods. Chicago is notorious for their great streetwear culture, very well known. Now this shoe is a collaboration between Don C and Kevin Durant, and the details really are exquisite. Don C uses their stories to draw parallels between their two lives and the impact that the city of Chicago had on them. Now for Don C, that's in fashion, the basketball effect on fashion, and you see that in a lot of his work. If you go on Instagram, go to his website, you see these kind of elevated basketball uniforms that are a huge part of his streetwear, and he really pioneered that style in a way that no one else really has been able to do even until now. Now, for KD, this really was about how the city of Chicago, which is very near to his hometown of Washington, D.C., was just a train ride away. So on the lace aglets, you have these copper tips, and those represent the copper train tracks between Chicago and Washington, D.C. And KD would go from Washington, D.C. to Chicago, and this represented the opening up of the world to him, and that's what Chicago meant. So the upper is in the colors of the Chicago flag, and on the heel you have 4 stars, which are the 4 stars of the Chicago flag. Now those stars make another appearance together with the copper from the aglets on the tongue crest, where there are 10 stars to represent the 10 All-Star appearances of Kevin Durant at the All-Star weekend. And also on there, so you have that 10, which is a number. You have another number on the heel, which is a number 7 there in PE style. And that's Kevin Durant's new number with the Brooklyn Nets. His old number is still embossed there in tribute to his high school coach, which died, RIP. And then number 7 is on top of this basketball pattern, this Nike basketball pattern designed by Don C. And inside the pattern, it has all these words calling out the technologies for all these Nike basketball technologies that had an impact on fashion. So you have flight posit, react, force, flight, adapt, and those are all put together in this pattern that's kind of reminiscent of the elephant print, which of course comes from another very important basketball shoe when it comes to the city of Chicago, and that's the Nike Air Jordan 3, which pioneered elephant print. Now the Air Jordan 3 was also a pioneer in exposing technology on basketball shoes, because that was the first time that we saw the Air Max unit open with a window on a basketball shoe. Now this shoe also has some exposed technology in the form of a fully transparent outsole, which has all this articulated traction going around. And through that outsole, you can see the midsole made of foam and all of the holes that they've put into it. So holes are actually cored out into the midsole, and this allows for the midsole to expand inward, giving the foam some give. And that's how the cushion comes, is that the foam is able to expand laterally and horizontally as you push down on it vertically. And having the holes there allows you to select where compression is going to happen based on wherever it's needed on the shoe. Also visible is a wave, and that wave color is a TPU plate that wraps up from the ball of your foot, tapering off towards the heel, but going around from the toe all the way up the lateral side and giving you lockdown in lateral motions when you're moving with your foot sliding outwards. Also visible through that translucent, transparent outsole is a hex unit, zoom unit, and it's actually a double stacked zoom unit in the heel to provide cushion while playing the sport of basketball. Final touch, running from heel to toe or toe to heel depending on which shoe you're looking at, is KD's signature. It's there, it's kind of hidden, but it's there. Now hidden inside the shoe is kind of the main technology, and it's something that Nike is calling the Zoom Air Strobel. Now the strobel is traditionally a piece of cardboard or leather that runs underneath the upper, and the upper is sewn to it. And that is a piece which is glued to the foam or the rubber of the midsole. In this shoe, they've replaced that with a Zoom Air unit that runs from heel to toe. The entire shoe has that Zoom Air unit, and you can see it in there. And supposedly, this technology was pioneered in the KD12. However, the KD12 was designed by a footwear designer inside Nike Basketball named Leo Chang. So Leo Chang is responsible for that Zoom Air Strobel. But Leo Chang also designed another streetwear collaboration sneaker for Nike Basketball, and that is this shoe over here, the Nike Air Fear of God 1. And you know what? This came out in December of 2018. This came out in April of 2019, 4 months apart, but this actually has a Zoom Air Strobel. You know what else it has? It also has double stacked zoom in the heel, and so I'll bet anything that in the forefoot, in the foam that runs in the forefoot of this shoe, there might also be holes like in this one. So these are kind of cousins or brothers or sisters, I guess, in more ways than one, because they have the same designer, Leo Chang, but they're also both kind of streetwear collaborations with guys from Chicago. And it's interesting because what you're seeing is Leo Chang collaborating and co-designing with Jerry Lorenzo, and then collaborating and designing with Don C. And it's nice to compare the results because they are surprisingly quite similar. Now, another way that they're kind of similar is that this has this external cage that's made of solid TPU, goes all the way around. And this shoe also has a cage, but it's being called quad axial flywire. Think of it as a soft foot cage that responds to the way that your foot moves and creates lockdown in real time. So as you step forward in it, it pulls against your foot. When you step sideways on it, it pulls against your foot. When you land, it pulls against your foot. Think of it kind of the way that a bullet is stopped by Kevlar, right? So it takes action when pressure is applied against it, which is another technological breakthrough and revealed on this design, very much in the same way that the Jordan 3 initially revealed the technology in a basketball sneaker. So with all of this cool stuff about the shoe, it really makes you wonder, why is there no hype? And I'd say that the first reason why is because, number one, KD was injured during this year's All-Star Weekend, so he didn't actually play. The shoe also came out about a year into the life cycle of the KD12, or near the end of the KD12. And we had already heard about and seen pictures of the KD13, so maybe that took away a bit of the hype. Maybe a second reason would be that there were a lot of All-Star sneakers, and before we wouldn't get special colorways and special sneakers throughout the year, but now we do because of the NBA's rule changes. And that may have taken away a bit of the hype as well. But I think that the real reason is the third reason, which is that Don C had another collaboration come out on this same weekend. And it was another collaboration also with Nike, and it was on the Air Force One High. And on that shoe, he actually had a triple collaboration with Nike, Don C, and American Express. And I think that Don C maybe cared a little bit more about that sneaker and pushed it a little bit harder because there's a little bit more money for him in that Amex deal. I don't know, but I think it's very clear if you go to his Instagram and you look at a lot of the coverage, that was the shoe that Don cared about. Also on that same weekend, Jerry Lorenzo had another Air Fear of God come out in I think the yellow one was the one that dropped. Nope, it was the Allen Iverson tribute Air Fear of God 1. Joe Freshgoods also came out to the show on that weekend. Kanye, of course, launched his Yeezy basketball shoe. And then, the man Virgil Abloh dropped his Jordan 5 Off-White on that same weekend. And that really stole the show from the whole All-Star weekend. Now, in terms of comfort and fit, they are snug, but they are true to size. And you want them to be snug so that you pull against the features of the shoe, which is that quad axial flywire. You want to be able to feel pressure against it. In terms of comfort of the Zoom Strobel unit, this one is a bit harder than the Air Fear of God 1. So I think that this has a lower PSI and this one has a higher PSI, kind of to give you more responsiveness on court. So it's not as soft, but it does give you that responsiveness that you need. Alright, so that's it, been the Nike KD12 Don C. I would love to hear your comments and ideas, your questions about this shoe. And of course, follow along on Instagram. I am at Kosho. Follow at Adjima Mag and follow at Honeycomb Manila on Instagram. We'll be reopening soon after this MECQ and we look forward to seeing you there. If you can, please do stay home. It means a lot. Click on the subscribe button. It also means a lot to me and to us at Honeycomb. And wash your hands. And if you do need to go out, if you absolutely need to go out for essential reasons, do wear a mask. All right, I wish you good luck. I wish you good health. Peace.